Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be the August energy reading for 2020. I'm going to take a look into my crystal cards and see what's in store. We have the full moon in Aquarius coming up on the 3rd, 4th of August, depending where you are in the world. And then, of course, we have the Lion's Gate coming up on 8/8, which is going to be bringing in, it's already bringing in some really big energies. If you guys have been noticing you're extremely tired, like you can't get enough sleep, like myself, it's because the portal's open and it's gearing up for the Lion's portal. So it's slowly opening more and more, bringing in more energy. So just be aware of that. But let's kind of go into, let's find out for the month of August what's happening. And for those of you in my alchemy program, check your email if you haven't already by the time this video comes out, because I'll have given you a portal, Lion's portal exercise activation for you, gearing up to that we're going to discuss on a live call next Sunday, which I will be doing with you guys from Mexico. Okay, here we go. First one. We have rose quartz coming out. It's really whited out here, but we have rose quartz coming out as the first energy. Forgiveness. Interesting. We have two more energies. Interesting. Okay, we have Labradorite, free will, coming up. We have celestial quartz, angelic truth, also coming out. That's very interesting that the Labradorite is coming out with free will, because we have this full moon in Aquarius that's squared to Uranus in Taurus, an exact square, almost like just 1 degree off. And it's about rebellion, you know, like this full moon in Aquarius is going to be a lot about rebellion this month. So that's really interesting that the Labradorite free will has come up. And then angelic truth also following it, like coming out together. I'm just wondering what truths are going to be revealed to us this month. Not just on a personal level, but obviously on a global level. Okay, and then, ooh, yeah, of course. This one hasn't come out in a while. We have Hemimorphite, the egoless state. Wow. Okay, let me sit with the cards for just a moment and I'll be right back with your reading. There is a most definite theme. There are two common threads coming through this reading, through all of the cards, and that is truth and personal power are the themes of the month of August. And there seems to be a shift in power that is being called upon, as well as tides changing, like a turn in a shift in the tide, like a change in tide when it comes to power. And so let's just jump right into it. So first card, we have rose quartz, forgiveness. And rose quartz is really interesting because, as you can see in the card, there is some blue in it. And although it is a pink stone, it holds the blue frequency more than anything, and is very common to work with Mother Mary. The color blue, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it holds the frequency of truth. Okay, the color ray blue is for the frequency of truth. And forgiveness can only begin when we are on the journey of truthful expression. And so there is a need to come to terms within your own self of what your own truthful expression is in this month. And there may be a discovery of areas where you need to forgive self, as well as others and the world, for you and able to do this, have your truthful expression, because truthful expression happens when the heart and the mind are united. Rose quartz also comes in to help us dissolve anger, frustration, jealousy, guilt, stress, tension, all of these things. And so we can see that for the last few months, actually, there's been a lot, but especially with the riots happening, I'm sensing that there's going to be an uptick in the riots, most definitely. And one of the reasons why this message is coming through is to call upon the star seeds, the ones who are awakened, to assist in counterbalancing the uptick in rioting, to bring in more healing and forgiveness energy, to bring in a sense of calm, and to negate some of that coming up, to help turn the tide, to shift and reclaim power. So forgiveness is going to be an element of that you'll want to work with when coming through to this. So for many of you who are going through your own journey and wanting to assist the collective, this is one of the ways that we can all work this month, in the month of August, through forgiveness and also through truthful expression, okay? So using this stone of forgiveness to help calm the energies, bring in some level of peace and harmony where there is disharmony, anger, stress, tension, frustration, all of that. And then the next stone that we have coming up is Labradorite, free will. And Labradorite is known as the magician's stone. It's a stone of creation. And because of its stone of free will, it's playing on this idea that, you are a free and sovereign being. You are able to create. You are a master creator, and you are co-creator with the creator of all that is. It's interesting that this stone has come up as well. In fact, all of the cards are threaded into one another so beautifully, because Labradorite presents itself when the energies are very scattered and there's a need to bring order. There is a need to bring focus and direction back in. And so for this month of August, also, it's important to be very aware of your own personal power and how you create. Are you allowing the energies to be just fully scattered, or are you utilizing the masculine energy to bring in order and focus out of the chaos? So one of the things that's actually come up, and I want to talk about this because there's going to be a thread coming out through this reading as well. In rose quartz, when we had rose quartz up, there is also the element that it comes up to heal. It comes up to heal male issues or father issues, okay, that need healing. We're also going to see, once we get into celestial quartz, victim energies needing to be healed. And so I'm gonna get into that. Do not forget to talk about that. I'm just talking to myself here. So there is this element also of coming in to heal the polarization is necessary for the month of August, because with the Lionsgate portal coming in, there are a lot of energies available to us to integrate, to download, to bring into our own energy field in the sense of upgrading how we operate in this world. So, Stone of Truth, it comes in to help us recognize the seeds of disharmony and disease in our thoughts and actions of this world, okay, and in the world in general. So really getting clear and focused about what those seeds of disease are. I get the sense that this month of August, there are going to be, on a global level, certain truths that are coming forward because we see this personal desire for truth or need for truth to come into the forefront of our consciousness right now. There is going to obviously be that reflected back to us on a global scale. And so August, I feel, is going to be bringing forth truths that highlight the seeds of disease and disharmony in our world, and allowing for people to reclaim personal power. And that's going to come up in the next card as well. Now, Labradorite is also an example of exciting change. We're on the cusp of exciting change. But in order for that change to occur, there needs to be a refinement of the energies, which is why it's here. I'm getting the sense for all of you who may lack clear purpose or understanding of how to work with your energies or how to take action, it's really important this month that you sit with yourself and get clear and start taking purposeful action. in a very direct and focused way with order, structure. Very important for the month of August, okay? So really use that this month to assist you in guiding you on how to manifest and create through your own free will. The next card that we have is Celestial Quartz, Angelic Truth. And Angelic Truth is often translated into one's own personal power, or the truth of your own personal power. And so this card is also bringing forth that, you know, there's been so much manipulation happening on a global level, and then we can kind of tailor it down into the microcosm of the manipulation of our own ego, you know, our own ego, and how our ego manipulates us out of our own personal power and uses fear to direct us. And this month, there's going to be some awareness or truth of the element of fear being used to take us out of our own personal power, to make choices that are very unconscious, and hopefully bring awareness to how to make more conscious choices and realize that the fear is directing us on a path away from sovereignty and our own personal truth. So lack of personal power often results from a state of victimhood, which I talked about just a second ago. And so this card is kind of bringing up the realization to understand where you fall in this spectrum. You could be falling more towards being a victim and how you feel powerless in a situation, which this whole virus situation has brought up for many of us. The whole virus has been the catalyst, I should say, for a lot of fears to be coming up from the subconscious in many of us, and to understand where those fears direct us out of our own personal power. So there's also the other side of the spectrum where when we have excess power, how that also creates a sense of giving the ego the reins. And so again, let's take the ego, the reins is like that microcosm that I was just talking about, how our ego can take us out of our own personal power by using fear to direct us and put us on a path that is away from our own divine truth. But also the ego on a microcosm level represents the macro of, say, the elite, the 1%ers, those in global control right now, trying to use fear to manipulate us out of our own personal power. And this month, it's really important collectively and individually that we all get clear about which of those fears are coming up for us and how to reclaim that power back. Celestial Quartz also talks about bringing in, it harmonizes the imbalances of the higher glands of the mind, okay? So like the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, that kind of stuff. And so there's a need here, I would say, for all of us to bring awareness to strengthening the pineal gland and pituitary gland, also because we're being manipulated so much emotionally when your hormones are in balance, and the pituitary is responsible for secreting the master hormone, HGH, okay, human growth hormone, which regulates our serotonin and all of our endorphins, to help regulate our moods and bring us out of elements of depression and things like that. So speaking of, the dog next door has been howling and seems really depressed right now. So I apologize if you're hearing the dog. And then, of course, the last card that comes up is Hemimorphite, egoless state. And again, that's talking about the ego. But this is also talking about personal power. And so it's about getting really honest about your actions in this world. And then, of course, on a global level, being honest about the actions of those trying to control the world. And using the awareness and consciousness of what our own self-respect is and self-confidence. So there is a desire to really integrate and activate those frequencies within self-confidence and self-respect are going to be very important for the month of August. I mean, they're always important, but specifically this month, because there seems to be such a constant barrage and attack on our own personal power, this month, find ways to reconnect with the parts of you that become very confident. If you, in my last video, New Level, New Devil, this came up a lot, okay, to activating the solar plexus, personal power. So even though Hemimorphite is blue, it's blue because it's a lot of truth needs to come forward. You have to get really honest about how you're acting in this world and where all of your actions come from. Are you acting from a place that is self-respect, that is very respectful of you in a sense of your own journey? Or are you giving yourself away? Are you letting people take advantage of you and giving parts of yourself away to other people's creations? And this kind of speaks to the idea of, you know, what other people want you to do. When we're growing up in this world and we listen to what society wants us to do, what our parents want us to do, what our friends want us to do, what universities or schools tell us we need to do. And this is about really discovering where you've given that away and really reclaiming for yourself what it is that you really truly want to do. The mantra, or the mantra for this is, I walk the path of truth to freedom. Okay, so there is an element here of really needing to break free of some of the shackles of that which has taken us away from our own personal power and our own truth. And so this month, I'm just kind of sensing that on a global level, we are going to be witnessing certain truths coming forward that I do believe are going to highlight where some of the disease in our society is. And of course, we can see that with the Maxwell case coming up. I think that's going to be a big catalyst for things coming forward. But I also sense that, you know, there seems to be a push and a pressure now, more so than before, being put on media and talking heads, political figures, anyone who has been pushing a narrative that is taking everyone away from the truth, that they're being exposed more, that is coming up more for exposure this month. So tides are turning. There's going to be a shift in power this month, but it all starts with each of us on an individual level. Never look for the change ahead of you. Always be the direction of the change within. And this is where you reclaim your own sovereignty and become the magician's stone, master of the magician's stone, in a sense of understanding how you create. So please, this month, really tune into your own ability to have clear focus, the ability to take chaos and put order in it. Because of the riots that are happening, there is a deep need here for us who have this higher or ability to engage with the higher frequencies, okay? Because everyone has that ability, but when you're more consciously aware, you can engage with them more purposefully. And we are being called to more purposefully engage in those energies of peace and harmony. So how do you bring that forth? How do you disengage from the polarization effect of the battle between the dark and the light, the truth and the lies, and not look at your fellow people who are, quote unquote, on the other side of the truth, to bridge the gap. It's about bridging the gap of polarization here, and not to look at them as the enemy or as those that are against you, but to really kind of take ownership and masterful creation around how to bridge all of that back together for unity, because there is a deep need here for unity through personal power and truth. The other thing that I just want to quickly mention is that, okay, so there is this element coming up for healing also this month between the masculine energies and the feminine energies. Now, with the masculine energies of being healed, like for instance, rose quartz, bringing that up with the father issues or the masculine issues, it's about the perpetrator. Okay, the wounded masculine energies, and bringing those into the forefront, as well as the wounded feminine of the victim energies. Okay, and really bringing those back out of that. So also keep in mind that there's going to be some level of truth coming to the forefront of the victimhood, movement, I don't know what else to call it, as well as the perpetrator movement, and bring those into the forefront. Obviously, we can see that through the sex trafficking, the child sex trafficking, but taking it even from a less obvious example or archetype, we can see that in a sense of the part of our society that wants to be a victim and believes that they have a higher status through being more of a victim. And then also of the perpetrator and healing the old wounds that have led to this. So there is some element of that coming in. Okay, guys, so that's the month of August for you. If you need any more information about me, please head on over to my website, NicoleFrolic.com. I finally changed it, and there's a newsletter there that you can sign up to. Also, for those of you in my alchemy program, for those of you who wish to join the alchemy program, you can at any time. We go through astrological components that are influencing our world right now, our own personal journeys, and I help you understand those, as well as going into some group coaching if you need it. And then, of course, my podcast is now moved over to this YouTube channel as well, okay? So all old episodes will still be on the Enlighten Up YouTube channel, but all new ones will be here. So guys, I love you so much. Have a wonderful month of August, and I'll be back with you guys really soon with more videos. Love you so much.